Welcome to Phantom Radar Battalion, locking onto today's key events of August 4th, 2024. Let's dive into the most pressing global developments across different regions. Tensions continue to escalate in Syria with several significant incidents. A car on the Damascus-Beirut road was reportedly targeted by a drone, causing substantial damage and further highlighting the volatility of the region. Additionally, an explosion occurred in front of the Ministry of Education in Meza, Damascus, spreading panic among residents and indicating a possible increase in internal instability. Israeli air raids have targeted the outskirts of the town of Haush al-Sayyid Ali in the Bekaa Valley. The Daba military airport in the Homs countryside was also bombarded by Israeli forces, intensifying the conflict and raising concerns about further regional escalations. In northern Idlib, Assad's forces bombarded the vicinity of the village of Deir Sunbul with heavy artillery, adding to the already significant humanitarian crisis in the region. A balloon used by American forces for surveillance missions in the Al Omar oil field, east of Deir ez-Zor in Syria, was targeted, signaling increasing hostility towards U.S. military presence in the area. This attack underscores the precarious situation for American troops stationed in conflict zones and the broader implications for U.S. foreign policy in the region. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard has issued a stern warning to Israel, promising severe retaliation at the appropriate time and place for the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. This incident has significantly escalated tensions between the two nations. Iran's president condemned the assassination as a grave mistake by Israel that will not go unanswered. In preparation for a potential conflict, Iran's government has moved to secure locations, and the Iranian Forces Command has relocated to their underground command center. The situation remains tense, with an imminent Iranian response expected. Iran has also threatened U.S. military bases in the region, stating that any American intervention would result in attacks on all U.S. bases and interests. This escalation highlights the broader regional conflict dynamics and the potential for a wider war involving multiple state and non-state actors. Unrest continues to roil Venezuela, with rising casualties from ongoing demonstrations against President Maduro. Sources report the death toll has increased to 11, although verification remains challenging. Public opposition to Maduro remains high, leading to widespread protests in several cities. Despite the government's efforts to quell dissent, public anger persists, leading to a volatile and unpredictable situation. Venezuela's economy is in dire straits, exacerbated by international sanctions and government mismanagement. Inflation is rampant, and basic necessities are scarce, deepening the humanitarian crisis. Many Venezuelans are fleeing to neighboring countries in search of better opportunities and stability. The government's tight control over resources and the ongoing political unrest contribute to the worsening economic conditions. Increased banditry on remote roads linking various cities has resulted in many long-haul cargo drivers refusing to drive during this period of heightened instability. Public transportation routes are also disrupted, with drivers charging higher fares due to the increased risks. The humanitarian crisis continues to deepen, with significant impacts on daily life for ordinary Venezuelans. In Russia, a new military video has been released showing Christians and Muslims fighting together against globalist forces. This propaganda aims to unify various religious and cultural groups against perceived external threats. In Ukraine, the conflict continues to intensify. In Zaporizhzhia Oblast, a Ukrainian Air Force MiG-29 Fulcrum used a French-supplied AOSM Hammer guided bomb to level a Russian-occupied building, demonstrating the ongoing military support Ukraine receives from Western allies. Several houses were set on fire following an airstrike in Pokrovsk, Donetsk Oblast, further contributing to the destruction and civilian suffering. Explosions were reported in Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, and Mirnohrad of Donetsk region, indicating continued military activity. New satellite images show that an ammunition depot at Morozovsk airfield was destroyed as a result of recent strikes, and up to 12 explosions were reported in Luhansk, suggesting possible secondary explosions after a missile strike. These incidents highlight the relentless nature of the conflict and the ongoing struggle for control in eastern Ukraine. In Africa, conflicts continue to plague various regions, exacerbating humanitarian crises and destabilizing local economies. In the Horn of Africa, clashes between ethnic groups in Ethiopia have resulted in numerous casualties and displaced thousands. The government's efforts to mediate and resolve these conflicts have so far been insufficient, leading to calls for international intervention. In the Sahel region, extremist groups continue to pose a significant threat, carrying out attacks on civilian and military targets. These groups exploit the region's political instability and economic hardships, recruiting disaffected youths and expanding their influence. Regional governments, with support from international partners, are working to enhance security measures and address the root causes of extremism, but progress remains slow and challenging. On the home front, the White House is in the final stages of approving a shipment of 1,800 Mark 84 2,000-pound bombs to Israel following the Israeli invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza. This shipment includes 1,700 Mark 82 500-pound bombs, which received approval in early July. These munitions will be crucial for the Israeli Air Force if full-scale war occurs with Hezbollah and/or Iran. The approval highlights the U.S. commitment to supporting Israel amid escalating regional tensions and the broader implications for Middle East stability. Indications and warnings suggest that the situation with Iran is serious, with an impending escalation likely. Analysts have noted increased activity around Washington, D.C., including spikes in food deliveries and decreased traffic at specific social venues. These indicators suggest that government staff are working late hours, possibly preparing for a significant international event. This so-called pizza index and gay bar index have historically been used as informal indicators of heightened government activity and impending significant events. That's all for today's briefing. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more news and insights. See you next time, and stay informed.